Welcome to Mueller time.
We're back.
We're back, and guys, we're going weekly.
Hey, it's only Monday.
Yeah. Let Sean Hannity.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's just so. Did you watch him tonight?
Just before, that's what when I said I wanted to save something.
Okay.
So right before you came in, I had a long day. Like I did the whole like LA thing. Went for a run. You know, got up. It was like 6:30. Blah blah blah. Anyway. Just caught a little bit of the Sean Hannity show. Wow. Did you see it?
He deserves his privacy. It was only real estate.
I mean, he comes on with that fake smile, and you're like, wow, dude. Like, the guy looked like he was sick almost.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, he's guilty. He looked like the deer in headlights for part of that dialogue.
It was better than a comedy. I'm telling you. If you're strapped for cash right now and you can't afford to go to a comedy show or get Netflix, watch tonight's Hannity.
Like you could afford cable TV if you can't afford those things.
Is it? Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Fox is
yeah,
cable.
it's cable.
Okay, can we play Trumplandia counterfactual for a moment?
What's going on?
What if Rachel Maddow was found out to have been a private client of Obama's senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett, and then Rachel Maddow secretly, as a client, gave her favorable coverage on the Rachel Maddow show on MSNBC? What would happen to people's heads?
What if Barack Obama banged a porn star? Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine that this would have been the chief story for 5 years?
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
So what if he had 3 baby mamas? Maybe 4.
So Hannity. By the way, does that sound good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm trying these new headphones and it was buzzing a little bit.
Oh, I hear no buzzing.
So Hannity comes on and damn, I lost my train of thought there.
Well, I thought he looked like a deer in headlights, and you're thinking it's comedy for poor people.
Yeah, Hannity comes on and it was crazy, and he just kind of dropped a little bit about what happened. Then, so what happened? He didn't. I watched as much as I could, but then I got sick because it was Hannity.
Yeah, well, I did too. Once he brought out, was it Newt Gingrich? I turned it off. And then I found a Twitter thread that somebody was live tweeting it.
He basically was like, hey, guys, this is BS. I'm going to get to this later. And then I fast forwarded like through 50 minutes. He didn't get to it. What
I read in the Twitter live tweet thread, he basically said the same thing that he released as a tweet earlier in the day. Didn't say anything different. He's just blowing it off like, well, I deserve my privacy. And, it was not related to politics at all. It was only about real estate. Now, I heard him drop it's only about real estate a few times. And to me, it sounded like, oh, no, that was just a meeting about Russian baby adoptions.
Oh,
yeah, because that wasn't really about Russian baby adoptions.
Right.
When it was, that was about getting rid of sanctions.
Right. If it was nothing, then why did you keep it a secret? Mm-hmm. And if he's not your lawyer, then why do you have private? Like it doesn't. It just.
Why do you have Michael Cohen as your real estate lawyer?
It doesn't. There's so many. There's just so many things that we could talk about with that.
It's okay if you're a Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so what do you think he has on?
Oh, look, I'm sure he probably paid off some woman. Mm-hmm. Hold on. I was reading one earlier today. There was a woman that had been a guest pundit talking head on I don't know if it's on Hannity, but it was definitely on Fox. Uh-huh. I don't know her name. She's I don't know it off the top of my head. Uh-huh. But she had sued Hannity in the past for I don't know if it was sexual harassment or what, but yeah, she all of a sudden stopped getting gigs on Fox. Oh. I'd have to look. This.
It's hard to keep track of all the women who've been.
You can't keep track of it. Look, we're gonna eventually find out that Michael Cohen did what Michael Cohen does for Hannity. It was not about real estate.
No,
I can't wait to find out exactly what that is.
Well, what they were saying was that one reporter said that they think it is that when, basically when all that stuff was going on. And Bill O'Reilly was going down. They said Hannity got. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh no! Well, the first report out was that Michael Cohen was representing him to have something to do with the media matters.
They said he got
boycott.
Right. He got real paranoid, and basically they think what he did was he might have hired PIs and stuff, which people use a lawyer for to mask them sometimes, because then the lawyer's the one who's hiring the PI, and you're not the one. So it's all like it's a way of just having another layer.
So what's his alias Like David says.
Oh no, it's David Dennison. It's always David Dennison.
Oh, so is it going to be that for when we find out that Hannity has some sort of alias?
Michael Cohen only uses one.
Okay.
And if there's a woman, it will be Peggy Peterson.
Okay.
He only uses one. I was laughing my ass off. You and I saw that thing at the same time. It was like 11:30.
Yeah.
Pacific. They're like Sean Hannity.
Oh, the way that Katie Tur broke the news was just
that
awesome.
was amazing.
She was just jaw dropped on the floor.
And then they cut to those guests. It was like he was. You see that guest? I don't remember who it was. He was like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Do you know how that happened? By the way, how that was released?
It was in Cohen's hearing today, where they were trying to make it so nobody could actually see what was found in his office raids last week, and. Yeah, the judge said, "No, tell us who that mystery person is."
Do you know who sort of asked the judge or forced the judge? This is really interesting.
Tell me who.
The judge was about to let it be a secret. Actually, the judge was okay, and then I don't even know how this works. A lawyer for the New York Times and CNN. He represents a couple outlets. He was there, and he stood up and said the public has a right to know.
Wow.
I don't know if you can, I don't know how that works, if you can intervene in like a trial, if he was there in an official capacity, but the judge said, you're right.
Wow. Okay.
And tell us who it is. Yeah. Yeah, it was Natasha Bertrand reported that.
Now, did you see the footage of how they broke the news on Fox?
I was just, you saw my tweet?
Yes.
That lady looked like she was going to vomit. And then do you see how she coughed over it?
Yeah, Sean Hannity. Moving on to other things. No, she literally said, moving on. Right, like without barely taking a breath.
It's like when you're in high school and you didn't do the homework and they asked you for the answer and you're like, it was unbelievable. Like she thought like a sniper, like little dot was going to appear on her forehead, and then they were going to take her out as she admitted that Sean Hannity.
And then I saw still images, but I guess Shepard Smith got to be Shep. Got to be the one in the studio to break the news then. She was out on the street reporting outside the courthouse.
Well, that's the one guy that they keep on to try to maintain some joke of like they let him be mean.
No, well, look, they always have their left-wing punching bags on that channel.
Yeah. Occasionally Chris Wallace will occasionally serve that purpose.
Well, for years it was the Hannity and Colmes show. The late Alan Colmes.
I remember Colmes.
He was Hannity's punching bag before Hannity went solo.
I don't know how the hell. I mean, I guess maybe money talks, but I don't know how the hell Combs dealt with that all those years.
I'm sure he got paid well, of course.
You know, Hannity pulled out a firearm on Juan Williams, and they covered that one up too.
Wow, no.
Oh, yeah. He pulled out a gun in the studio and was goofing on him, and then they covered that up.
Okay, so now how can Hannity stop or still continue to deny that what he's doing is state TV propaganda?
The thing is, it doesn't matter. His audience doesn't care.
I know.
They don't care.
It's frightening. It's sad.
And when you're making $36 million a year, you can probably convince yourself of a lot of things.
Yeah.
The problem is that they got some. I heard that they might have recordings on Hannity. I mean, he looked physically ill.
Well, all of my favorite tweeters now this week or today, I'm sorry, have been digging up clips from just a week ago and knowing what we know now.
Right.
Trying to read that into Hannity's demeanor a week ago. He looked like he was flipping out when he was reporting about the raid last week on Cohen's office.
A friend of mine who's a lawyer who actually worked in, he's worked on mafia cases and all this back east. He texted me today, and he's like, these guys are all the conspiracy theorists, because that's who they are. Hannity with all that Seth Rich bullshit. That's because they're the ones, they just like project that on everyone.
Yeah.
They're the conspiracists. They're the people who are pulling all this nonsense.
Yeah.
He did something bad.
He did.
Yeah, he did something real bad. They were saying that maybe it's part of there's recorded discussions about him talking about how he's going to cover for Trump or that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that,
I heard Jill Weinbank say that, and she's real good.
And didn't we learn last week that Cohen records everything?
Yeah.
And Mueller has all of it.
That's amazing that's apparently legal in New York State, but they said it's unethical, basically, but it's legal to one-party consent. So a lawyer can technically do that.
That's kind of a oxymoron, one-party consent.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really a thing.
Yeah, not in California.
Well, no, you have to
out there it is.
two-party consent. But what I'm just trying to say, is one-party consent a thing?
It is. No, it sounds crazy.
But then that's not consent if you don't have the second party's consent.
That's the law there. I know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
basically you can surreptitiously record someone there.
Jumbo shrimp.
Wait, what?
One party consent. Jumbo shrimp.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing like a sponsor.
No.
Today we're trying to get some sponsors. We may have one.
I think they just followed me back on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. About to get that kettle glazed donuts. I'm just trying that out for when we get kettle glazed donuts.
Best iced coffee in Hollywood.
Right. I'm gonna try to hook that up. Yeah, that was what a day.
Hey, I know Sammy down there listens.
Yeah. Sammy over at Kettle Glazed Donuts. All right, I'm done. I'm done with that. All right. So, James Comey, you see the interview?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, he's trying to sell books.
Agreed.
So he gave some of those, fun Trump details, making fun of his appearance.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just jump to this. Seth Abramson. I saw you retweeted something about you because he had an interesting take on Comey. He wasn't fully on Comey's side last night on Twitter. Then I saw you tweet something about Seth Abramson and lumping him in with all the citizen journalists, like the crazy ones.
I did that tweet thread, but I said that I didn't bash Seth. I said that Malcolm Nance told me he was cool. Remember he told us he was cool?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I'm like, I trust that.
Mm-hmm. Well, but you qualified that in your tweet. You did say something. What did you say?
It's not that I don't. The other people in that thing, I think, are not legit. Is that your phone?
Yeah, I think that was me.
Nice.
Sorry.
Nice. So what I said was that it's not that I don't think he's legit. I find him annoying at times.
That's what you said.
Why.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, so my thought then is, well, maybe we should float that out here in Podverse land. Should we contact Malcolm Nance again? It's almost a year later. Is he still cool? Look, Malcolm Nance told us Seth Abramson is cool. He told him to our faces.
We trust Malcolm Nance.
Yeah.
Implicitly.
Now, maybe a year later, we should see what Malcolm Nance still has to say. Well, 9 months later.
Hopefully we'll see him at Politicon.
Well, why don't we just tweet him?
We could do that too.
We could do that. He gets back to people on Twitter. He'll answer you if he likes your question.
And you know what? He's online very late. Like right now, in the next couple hours, he'll be online.
He's a nighttime guy on Twitter.
Which is awesome because you have more likely a chance of getting a response.
Yeah.
Because most of the East Coast is asleep right now, except for, let's see, Michael Cohen is throwing up, and Sean Hannity who's puking.
Oh man, can you imagine what he's drinking tonight?
Yeah, sometimes he'll talk. He'll be like, I've seen him do it on Twitter. Like, I'm drinking. What do you? Hey, deplorables, what are you drinking right now? And then they'll all like write back. Yeah. Oh,
and then I didn't make it to the end of Hannity on Fox tonight, but then, like I said, I did read someone's live tweet thread. Laura Ingraham got a little joke in when because she comes on the air after him. Said something about how I'm glad the heat's not on me anymore.
Yeah, no, it still is though. Yeah, the heat's definitely on you.
No, she'll be forgotten about this week. There's already the stories out. Her ratings were up 20%. I was reading on Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire today. They were very proud of that.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Oh, I read Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire every day. Look, I watch all of MSNBC all day, and I probably read a far bigger amount of right-wing nutjobs online than I do left-wing people.
That's I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't need to reread the stuff I've been seeing on TV. Look, I see it on Twitter too. I don't know. I get a kick out of reading Ben Shapiro's website in particular.
No.
Oh, Ben Shapiro had a story up today. He didn't correct it. 5 things it was the 5 things you should know about Comey's interview with George Stephanopoulos. Ben Shapiro can't count to 5. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
and the headlines had 5 things, and there were 6 things with 2 3s.
Yeah, that whole. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing I could say about the Daily Wire that you couldn't say, but because you know a lot more about them than I do. But when I read that stuff, occasionally, because of your tweets, I'll check it out. It's just like I got nothing to say about it. It's just shitty.
Yeah, well, Ben Shapiro is going to be a force to be reckoned with for a couple decades.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he is.
It's hard. It's hard to know. I mean, look, no one thought in the same way that no one thought that Donald Trump would be president. Sometimes people who look like they're going to be stars, sometimes they flame out. I mean,
well, look, I hope a lot of people flame out when Trump comes to an end.
Yeah.
I hope it's the end of a lot of people in politics. I don't know. I think Ben Shapiro is smart enough that he knows how to play every side of the fence that he can, and I'm just afraid that charismatic Islamophobic ass is going to be around for a long time, and yeah, I'll be there trolling him on Twitter.
Good. Yeah, because as long as they're there, we'll be there. But, you know, I thought the Comey interview was great. And I thought he would, there's all these different opinions about it. Mm-hmm. But I thought the guy was I thought he was very honest. He referred to himself as a deeply flawed person, which is true of anybody.
Yeah.
And he made his decision. I don't agree with it. But to blame him for the whole thing is insane. Mm-hmm. That's like in baseball, you know, they blame, like, you dropped the fly ball and the game was tied at the end. But why was it that close in the first place?
Yeah, there you go.
Isn't that right? And yes, I strongly disagree with what he did there, and I see why he did it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's over. Yeah. That's what it is. I mean,
now he's doing Colbert tonight. I think he does Rachel Maddow on Thursday, and I'm sure he's got more book tour interviews in between.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no kidding. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Hannity accidentally said something. You know, like, even though, like, some of these guys say something true by accident, he said, as it turns out, James Comey's higher loyalty is James Comey. Yeah, you idiot. Don't you get the point of that? That's exactly what he's saying, you fucking moron.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
that's what having morons. Principles is.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was like, yeah, you just sold more books for him. Mm-hmm. That's what he was saying. I can't focus.
Something else I read on Twitter today. Every nonfiction bestseller on the New York Times list since the beginning of 2017 has been about Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Every nonfiction.
Now, someone can fact check that for me and then tweet back at us on Twitter somewhere. Yeah, by the way, at Mr. Chris Carey on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And Eric Levay, EricLevai. I'm on every social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, because we're trying to get that blue check mark, guys.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say what's up to our Redditor friends.
Oh, yeah.
On the subreddit, __ Mueller. So Apollo the Cosmonaut and JC Dulus, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, guys, thank you. We're very excited to see that some people are talking about us online.
Yeah.
And just on YouTube, there was another gentleman who
oh, good. We're getting comments.
Comment. Yeah, he was joking about Hannity. I was like, it's coming up. So yeah, we saw that on did you read that whole Reddit thing?
Yeah.
I was cracking up because they said, hey, because there's this other Mueller podcast called Mueller She Wrote.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually corresponded with them. They were cool because I wanted to ask them a question about just how they do their podcast. And then these guys on Reddit wrote, hey, if you like Mueller She Wrote, there's this other podcast. It's not really as in-depth, but it's funny. Yeah. I was cracking up, man.
Hey, look, we're just sitting here with the microphones. Yeah. We can't even use our computers. I'm feeling guilty trying to even look at my phone right now for notes. Yeah, because it does that every time.
Our goal is to be the second or third best Mueller podcast.
Okay.
So if you can help us get there.
Well, what happens when Mueller gets fired? What do we do?
I'm keeping this shit going. I don't give a damn because I can talk about anything.
Well, yeah, we could talk, but we might have to rethink the name.
Well, no, we're gonna keep the name because we can. Well, first of all, the day he gets fired, that's like a 2-hour special.
Oh, absolutely.
With a paywall. I'm going to paywall it. By the way, if anyone knows how to actually make money from podcasts, please hit me up on Twitter because we are all about the capitalism.
Yeah.
Call me the Donald J. Trump. No, that would be if I sold you a podcast that was 30 minutes of dead air.
Would you run spots from Chick-fil-A or Starbucks? Oh, we got to talk about Starbucks.
Oh, are you grouping Chick-fil-A and Starbucks together right now?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll compromise my moral values. Will I have a higher loyalty?
Well, do you have the higher loyalty to the dollar bill?
Well, I'll tell you, I would consider I would never ever do business with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
ever.
Me neither.
Never.
No.
So you want to talk about the Starbucks?
The Philadelphia cops are racist, and the employee they're just flat out racists.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Let me explain what I think about that. That event it's a chain reaction of multiple things, none of which should have happened. That's how people get killed. That's why all this stuff is going on right now. It's often not one thing that happens; it's multiple events. Mm-hmm. And not that I'm going to be the one talking about the whole thing, but the first thing that happened is a customer comes into your facility and they don't buy anything. They just would like to use the bathroom. So Yeah, who's done that? Every one of us.
Yeah. Everybody.
Everybody.
Yes.
100% of people who've ever walked the earth. Secondly, it's a Starbucks, which has that. I used to work there. I know what it's
Okay.
like back in the day. They want to create that thing where they want you to come in.
Yeah.
Because they know that some of those people will buy shit. The second thing that goes, so that happens. The first thing that goes wrong is the employee can't deal with that.
Okay.
Why couldn't you deal with
that's
that?
all. The whole thing is on the employee.
Right.
I haven't read anything saying that the two men were there for more than 15 minutes, which is less than a reasonable amount of time to be sitting at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was only about two black men. That's all it was.
I agree.
You and I, two white dudes, were sitting there for 15 minutes, not ordering and going to the bathroom. It would not be a problem.
I agree. Well, this is what went down, okay? The employee, until I hear otherwise, is probably a racist. Let's be honest. And then, but it's on Starbucks too, because apparently they said that the employee was enforcing their policy. They backed, they said their policy is wrong, but they backed the employee in terms of, hey, they were doing what we say to do.
Okay, now, but cops have discretion.
And that's the third thing.
Now, some of the things I've been reading, though, like, the cops had no choice. They were called. They had to arrest them because they wouldn't leave. No, the cops can go up there and say, no, this is cool. The cops absolutely can do that.
That's a bigger thing is why are the police being used to enforce some it's not effective resources. And you're absolutely right. And a good cop, and I've known plenty of them over the years, never would have done it like that. That's insane.
Yeah, and then there's like 5 cops in there.
Right.
I don't know. I might be exaggerating, but there are more than 2.
Right.
Yeah. Now there were 2 gentlemen.
Right. And again, right. There's so many ways to handle that.
That's what you do at Starbucks. You go, you wait for whoever you're supposed to meet there. 15 minutes is not an unreasonable amount of time for someone to be late.
I have to say that even above
They weren't even late.
Even to me personally, even bigger than the racism issue, which is very important in the story, is the militarization of our society, where the police were looked at as the solution to a problem that didn't need them.
There wasn't a problem.
Right. There was no problem.
Okay, well, then there's the post 911 culture.
Right.
See something, say something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that can go wrong. Now, was that what was in the Starbucks person's head? I don't want to call them a barista, but the Starbucks employee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they thinking, oh, see something, say something?
Look,
what did they think they see?
I worked there for a couple of years. I saw a lot of crazy stuff, and there were people in there that sometimes had to get kicked out. And you knew, if you're smart, you knew how to handle it. I mean,
yeah.
Basically, unless they were doing something totally insane, you kind of just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
It's not complicated.
Okay, I spent many years working in record stores. People go to record stores and don't buy a thing and look at records for hours. Never called the cops on any one of them.
Right. Some of these people are real sticklers for rules as they get promoted up the ladder at a place like Starbucks. And you get that one person, and like I said, they probably are racist. And then on top of that, they have this rule book that they've been studying. Yeah, seriously. You're making $14 an hour. They made you like a shift lead, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, these guys aren't buying anything.
You should be like the secret underground Starbucks Twitterer.
I saw, yeah, right. That's funny.
The Seth Abramson of the Starbucks universe.
I used to I saw a lot of crazy stuff there back in the day. I don't know what it's like now.
All I know is it's way too complicated to get a straight up iced coffee. Yeah. They make it way too difficult to get the most simple drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, their CEO, and he knew what he had to do right away, though. He basically was like, he's like, I want to call those guys, talk to them personally. Our policy's wrong. So he knew they messed up.
Yeah. Well, Starbucks has taken the heat when the Philadelphia PD has gotten none.
Is that right?
Well, I don't really see the Philadelphia police taking the heat on this. It's all about Starbucks being racist, not the police being racist.
You're right, because the Starbucks CEO kind of basically apologized, and the police commissioner in Philadelphia, I didn't really hear an apology. He just backed the guys up.
No, see, the cops are just doing their jobs. It's okay.
Yeah.
See, the cops are just doing their jobs.
As you said yourself, discretion is one of the most important parts of.
Yeah.
I was a criminal justice student. That's literally like the first thing in the textbook. Every cop knows what that is.
Okay, now the claim is that they were loitering and trespassing. All right, well, let's lawyer that. Let's lawyer that up. Were they trespassing?
Let's see the video. It's all on video.
Yeah, it's
loitering. That's every fucking customer in there is loitering.
Exactly.
That's the definition of
yeah.
Starbucks.
Now, the Ben Shapiro Daily Wire website comment section was having fun with this story. Every one of them are just full-on racist assholes, completely on the side of Starbucks and on the side of the police. Like straight, no, they were trespassing. If Starbucks said you have to leave because you're not buying anything, then you have to leave. And if you're told if you don't leave, cops are going to arrest you. And they're just like, this is okay.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's never happened to any of those people, so they don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
It's part of in general, it's a bigger part of the right-wing mind is an inability to see the world from another perspective. That's why you're so, everything you see the world is so fixed, you know? But if that moment ever comes for you where, you know, you're in a bad spot with a cop who's out of control, yeah, you might feel differently about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. I was thinking about that. Like, we should talk about that.
Yeah, well, Trump hasn't talked about it.
Oh, well, Trump would have been happier if they shot the guys and killed them.
Very true.
I mean, oh, by the way, one of the best things now is oh my God, they were just playing the Lock Her Up, the Mike Flynn. I was on the floor. It was like that's an all-timer right there.
Oh, yeah, when he went out on that stage at the convention, Lock Her Up, yeah.
I should watch that every day, just like some people do, like this mindfulness bullshit. Sorry, no, my bad. I've heard it's helpful. But for me, I should just get up and watch that clip in the morning.
Like what?
Like yoga.
Oh, no, not like Cernovich gorilla mindset.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Yeah. I heard he realized that Trump is going down in flames, so now he's going just general conspiracy stuff.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe he'll just fade into nothing. Okay, hold on. General conspiracy stuff. Let's say a word for Art Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Art Bell.
I have to admit, I have to be honest. I'm not as I read about the man because of his death, but I am not that familiar with his work.
I used to listen to him a lot back in the 90s.
So he was the original like UFO guy. Is that my understanding?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, because of him was the first time I heard Alex Jones, though. KFI AM 640 here in Los Angeles. That's where I would hear Art Bell. And I got turned on to him from reading about him first in Flipside, punk rock fanzine in the 90s, 80s and 90s. And yeah, now he's stuck to the supernatural stuff, but that's kind of the launching point for all the right-wing nutjob conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Alex Jones, I don't know what necessarily the connection between the two of them are, if it's only just a simple thing of being scheduled next to each other on the same radio stations. But then you're going to build on that audience there. So I think Alex Jones kind of had a little assist from Art Bell, whether or not Art Bell intended to do that. So yeah, that world came from Art Bell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And he
Art Bell was awesome.
He broadcasted in the 60s and 70s?
Oh, no, he was all the way up until maybe only a few years ago.
So he went from...
He was on 7 nights a week on AM. He was Coast to Coast AM was the name of the show, and it was on overnights. KFI here in Los Angeles would broadcast it. It would be on, I don't know, midnight to 3 a.m.
I'm kidding.
And it was mostly supernatural stuff. He didn't really get into any political conspiracy. I mean, well, no, he would talk about the Bilderberg Group and those kind of things, but it was all really based around supernatural.
So he was just mildly anti-Semitic. That's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Fantastic. By the way,
the Illuminati. Yeah.
Every year, some like douchebag out in Hollywood will start telling me about that stuff, and it's really hard for me to. I'm always pretty polite, but I try to let people know as well as I can. And if anyone's listening who didn't know that all that stuff is prejudiced stuff. They just hide it. All that stuff, the Rothschild stuff. It's very hurtful.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about if that's something that people are saying. Well,
look, the way those stories are presented, the Bilderberg groups and the Illuminati and all that stuff's connected to. Now, it's the anti-Semitism is completely hidden. That's just a way around it. Nobody I didn't see that when I was first reading about those things a couple decades back.
Of course. I mean, because it's not. Because you don't know unless you really know about this stuff. I mean, if you're just listening to the radio.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pull up some clips and listen. I really like to hear that show.
Yeah, now he kind of passed the torch to a guy named George Norrie. Now, George Norrie still hosts Coast to Coast AM. I think it's still on KFI. And I think what was the way they worked out, Art Bell would do like 1 or 2 shows a month. And that's how it's been working for the past few years. But it's for 80s, 90s. Yeah, Art Bell was the man. You want to know about UFOs?
Well, you brought up Alex Jones. The first time I heard Alex Jones was way before any of this Trump stuff, and I didn't really know who he was. At that time, I thought he was a good broadcaster. I was like, oh, this guy's kind of weird.
Look, the guy's entertaining on the radio. Can't deny that.
We're talking like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know about all this other stuff. I didn't know what a douche he is. By the way, did you see him losing his mind over this Syria?
Oh, man.
strike?
Yeah. Yeah, like we were talking about this.
amazing.
The right-wing nutjobs did not know how to react to the Syria strikes last week. They were fighting amongst themselves whether it was what they should have happened or not.
Oh, yeah. So I told you I stumbled into that protest, right?
Oh, you told me. You didn't really tell me a whole lot, though. But you told me you spoke to Trump propaganda.
Well, I was in downtown LA, and I just came out of the metro station, or I was walking, and I saw a protest. I'm like, so the first thing I thought was, oh man, it's my day off. Like, why are we're always in the middle of some shit? What the hell? But then I'm like, all right, it's on. So I walk over there. It's an all I see is first a bunch of signs that say, Trump, get out of Syria, or Trump is a war criminal. Okay. So I'm like, right on. Like, fuck Trump. This sounds good. A long story short, I got interviewed by the Voice of America about the thing, which I still don't. I don't know if I necessarily see them the same way as you.
It's state run, and
yes.
Trump appointed new people in there.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know who those people are. I just know that Voice of America has been around for
But then it doesn't
decades.
really. You're not going to necessarily hear it here in the States. That goes out to. It's broadcast to soldiers all around the world.
Hey, better that than Rush Limbaugh, though.
Well,
they get that shit too.
They might put him on that channel.
But check this out, man.
Yeah.
So I got asked a question that was weird, and she said at the end, do you think that Assad used chemical weapons? And I was like, of course. And
oh no!
So check this out. Man.
Okay, now we're getting into the conspiracy theory part of it.
So I'm wondering what's up with that, because especially, let's say you're right, and let's say it's Trump propaganda. That would be a strange question to ask, because Trump's.
But wasn't that the story coming out of Russia? That
check this out.
Okay.
So I found out the protest had a lot of these nuts there. So she was asking me. She thought I was one of them.
Okay.
Because apparently, although a lot of them appeared to be just anti-Trump, there were a couple at least who had that conspiracy shit.
Okay.
And I just didn't see them. So I guess they thought I was one of them.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, please don't cut this up and blast me out to some.
Well, I know there's a Voice of America website. Was this on film?
I looked for it, but I didn't see myself on there.
Okay.
What I got nervous.
Did you see a report on this protest on Voice of America?
I saw a little one, but you know what it made me realize? I'm sure she was from Voice of America, but it made me realize, especially as we do more stuff, we got to be careful. Like, what if she wasn't?
She can tell you she's from anywhere. She wants to tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was on the, first of all, it was on the microphone. I mean, you can make things up, but I'm confident. But it made me really think. I was like, man, I got to be careful. You got to.
Yeah, you don't know.
Give
You're
the wrong
to.
thing. You gotta be. Then again, people talk to us. So. Hey,
oh come on, we got hit up by the Freemason at the women's or not. At the March for Our Lives.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. I was gonna say one more thing. I don't know. Did you check out the Intercept? They have a 3-part series by James Reason on it's on Trump, Russia.
I don't know if I read this one. No.
Well, if you guys get a chance, check it out. But long story short, George Papadopoulos, who launched this whole thing when he was when the investigation was open because of him. So that professor guy?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw. Do you know what's happened to the professor?
Tell me.
Nobody knows where he is.
Oh, okay.
He's disappeared. So this guy who is most likely a Russian intelligence agent is like MIA. His wife doesn't know where he is. She just gave birth to his kid. She's interviewed. Yeah. This guy is in the wind. It was creepy to read it.
That 3-parter in the Intercept.
It's a 3-parter. Okay. And James Reason, in case you guys don't know, he's like one of the best investigative reporters. He's a Pulitzer winner. And it's a great.
Just like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Yes. Kendrick Lamar.
Sorry to derail you.
No. And I don't really know anything about Kendrick Lamar's music.
No, I didn't realize you could get a Pulitzer Prize for music, but I learned he is the first non-classical or opera musician to get the Pulitzer Prize.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So now I'm gonna have to embarrassingly catch up on his music.
Oh, no, well, he's like the most. He's got the most credit in all of hip hop now for all the. He's carrying the torch that came out of South Central LA.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna check that out. And I mean, I have to. He won a fucking Pulitzer. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to know about what people are doing in this world.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out that series. It's really interesting.
I absolutely will.
Anything else going on?
It's only Monday.
Oh my God.
What's going to happen on Friday? Last week when we said it's only Monday, it ended with Syria getting bombed on Friday. And this week, last week started with Michael Cohen's door getting kicked in. This week, it started with Hannity being outed. Trump hasn't made it back to D.C. yet from Mar-a-Lago. That doesn't happen until tomorrow.
Oh, really?
He was still at Mar-a-Lago all day today.
Huh.
Yeah. That's a nice way to spend your Monday. I wish I could have spent Monday on my vacation home.
I don't ever really know where he is because he doesn't do any work. So I don't know the difference.
Oh, just follow WH Public Pool on Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah. The official public pool. I always has the comings and goings of the press pool. So you know what city everybody's in at all times.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out, dude. These people are tiring.
Oh, does Sarah Huckabee Sanders have to go up in front of the press corps tomorrow? That'll be a good one tomorrow.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I think we're going to call it here. This has been Mueller time again. We are going weekly, so make sure you listen weekly on Fridays.
Yeah.
And Saturdays.
The show gets posted on Fridays on iTunes, on Stitcher, on where else?
Google Play,
Okay.
SoundCloud. If you have an Amazon Alexa, you can say play Mueller time.
So please subscribe. Find us on Twitter. Find us on, well, no, don't find me on Facebook. I try to keep Facebook real people.
Yeah, don't find us on Facebook ever. No.
No, find Mueller Time on Facebook, not our personal pages.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.